You mentioned coronavirus, and I'm sure just as people in government right now are having to deal with it, if you're running for office right now, it's affecting that as well. We saw that you had tweeted recently, freeze all evictions, freeze all foreclosures, freeze all utility shutoffs. I know that obviously this sort of situation, this tragedy, must provide an opportunity for you to talk about how your agenda would impact it. But is it affecting the way you go about campaigning? Are you able to actually campaign in an active way with the sort of lockdowns that we're seeing starting to spread?
Yeah, so last week our campaign made the decision to stop going door to door. We want to be part of the solution, not part of the problem. I am taking it very seriously that people should be staying home, those that can. I recognize that there are some people who still need to go to work, and I think those of us who can stay home should, so that we can protect those people who need to be out and working still. So we went from having, close to 10 canvassing shifts every weekend, plus more during the week, where we had 15 people at a time coming out to canvass, to now completely stopping any of that in-person voter contact. So we are shifting primarily to phone banking right now. Mm-hmm. We had basically about 8 hours of phone banking both days over the weekend, and are continuing that every day, keeping our dialer open from noon to 8 p.m. every day so that we can reach voters that way, because we have seen that our name recognition is increasing. We have seen that people are buying into our platform, and we know that we can't take our foot off the gas when it comes to voter contact right now, despite this crisis.
And I believe that you've said that you're working full time while campaigning as well. Is that correct?
I am. Yes, I am. I unfortunately am not in a position to be without an income right now. So I am continuing to work my job and fit in my campaigning on nights and weekends as best I can, because I, like many people in Delaware and in the country, like I can't just walk away from a paycheck right now and need to keep that.
Yeah, exactly. And we've talked with a number of different candidates that because of the lack of public financing, it's having an obviously discriminatory effect on people who actually work for a living and can't just call on either high dollar donors or their own personal wealth to be able to smooth the way. Yeah. So I certainly feel for you in that struggle.
Yeah, that's particularly important in my race. Before I was even in this race, Senator Coons had raised about $3 million. When he first ran, he put about $250,000 of his own money into his campaign. I am not capable of doing that. We are not taking any money from any corporate PACs. We are solely raising money from small donors because, that's one of the reasons that I'm in this race. I am frustrated by the way that the senator has legislated in favor of the donors that he receives the most money from. I don't want to be beholden to any of those corporations who would come knocking on my door after elected, asking for their favors to be returned.
Awesome. Well, I certainly agree with that. Jess Scarane, thank you so much for joining us today on the show.
Thanks so much.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.